So welcome back everybody, Mike here. I am happy to report that last night I got the big 8-point that I've been after. It was a wonderful, really cool experience, and unfortunately I didn't get it on video. It was too dark for the camera. I did get some video when I found the deer, and I got a lot of pictures I'll share at the end of this video. So the first part of this video was yesterday morning or early afternoon. I was putting a tree stand up there at the old apple orchard, and I normally don't like doing that in the middle of the season, but it's still early in archery season, and I wanted to get that one up. That's the one, if you remember, over Labor Day weekend when I was clearing some more trees up there, that stand was in a dead oak tree. So I took that stand down, and it's just laying over there. So I'd been seeing a decent buck over there, a real nice one actually, in that area, so I want to get a stand up. So I got that stand up yesterday, but I didn't want to hunt it, 4 or 5 hours later, give it a few days just to sit. So I went out behind my house there in the go-to stand. It's only 150 yards behind the house. And when I went into the woods, I kicked a couple doe out as I was heading to the stand. And then later on in the evening, I saw a couple more doe behind me. And it just wasn't a lot happening until about 6:15, 6:20 last night, something like that. And I was actually, it was getting dark pretty quick, and straight out ahead of me I could see a deer moving, kind of coming towards me, and it was a doe, but behind it was a nice buck, and behind that buck was a bigger buck. And so they were kind of coming towards me, but then they turned to the right, and they were following that doe, not chasing her real hard, but they were definitely following that doe. And the bigger buck actually came closer to me before he made the turn, and I'm telling you what, he got to within about 20 yards of me broadside, but he was right behind a big tree. So I'm ready to shoot for about 2 or 3 minutes straight waiting for him, and I use a Crossbow here in Pennsylvania, and it's heavy, so I'm sitting there waiting, and here in Pennsylvania you have to count points, and I couldn't tell at first how many points he had, but then I could kind of silhouette his rack against the skyline, and I'm telling you, it was a nice looking buck, so I was getting a little excited, I'm waiting, and finally he stepped out, and he was kind of walking kind of quick, so I just did a little noise, and he stopped, and as soon as he stopped, I shot, and it was a great shot, a double lung shot using the Rage Broadheads, and I'm telling you, it did not go 30 yards. So when the deer, he took off running, and I could hear him crash back there, and I knew he was down, but I didn't want to approach him right away just in case he wasn't dead. I didn't want to spook him. So I waited a little bit, and I came back to the house, and by this time it was dark. So I grabbed a couple flashlights and a headlamp, and I went back there, found a huge blood trail, and I don't even think it was 30 yards from where I shot him. But I'm very excited and very blessed, and I was pretty pumped up about it. It is the biggest buck that I've ever gotten, and I think it's the biggest one ever taken on this property. I'm almost positive it is. over all the years. And the deer here in Pennsylvania are getting bigger and bigger each year. And I did another video on that earlier on what changed in Pennsylvania deer hunting. But to sum it up, I'll give you the quick summary of what changed. Years ago, people used to hunt here in Pennsylvania, a million hunters. And there was literally a hunter on every hill, every valley. And the first day of gun season, everything got shot. Probably 80% of the deer got shot by noon the first day. Shooting little, year-and-a-half-old bucks, little spikes and 4 points and things like that. And they were just shooting them all. And so over time, Pennsylvania, the Game Commission, they wanted to, try to get some bigger bucks and things like that. So they came up with this antler restriction. And, they take all the credit for it that, hey, the bucks are bigger because of the antler restriction. They do get some credit, but I think there's a couple other things that happened that has created this situation where we finally have big bucks around here. And what that is a lot of guys quit hunting. That's a big one. So there's definitely not as many people in the woods as there used to be. The other thing is we have all these extra seasons, a long archery season. There's an early muzzleloader season for doe only, and you have rifle season, and then for buck, then buck and doe, and then you've got another late muzzleloader archery season. So what that did, there's less hunters, and those hunters, the time that they spend in the woods got stretched out over months' time. So the deer aren't pressured like they used to be. It's like you're hunting them more in their natural state, and that's really nice. And before, they're always just deer running through the woods, and I mean, you'd sit on the ground or sit in a stand, and you just wait, and here comes a whole train of deer. It might be 10 or 15 doe and one little buck behind it, and you shoot the buck. That's what everybody in Pennsylvania did forever. But all that has changed between the antler restrictions, less people hunting, and stretching that season out so you don't have as many people in the woods at the same time. We finally got some really nice buck. And like I said, this is the biggest one that I've ever got, and I'm really excited. And it's kind of weird because I devote a lot of time to deer hunting, all the preliminary work and trail cameras and setting stands and scouting, and I love the whole part of it. Shooting the deer is just one part, it's like one piece of a delicious cake. You know what I'm saying? It's just one little bit of the whole experience. And I've always enjoyed hunting, and I really like, hunting on my own property and all that stuff, and watching the deer grow over the years and all that. It's just really cool, and it's a big part of my life, and I really enjoy it. But anyway, I'm going to show you some pictures, a little video when I found it last night. And like I said, for around here, it's a good buck. I know, like you get in Ohio or some of the other states, they're bigger, but this is it's all relative to the area that you hunt. So I never got too caught up in the size of a rack. I do like to get a bigger deer, but it's all relative to the area that you hunt. So a trophy for one person is different than a trophy for another person, depending on where you hunt. And I'm pretty excited about this one. But anyway, I'm going to show you this little the rest of the video and a few pictures from the deer last night. And next up is my daughter Eva. She's 12 years old, and she did her hunter safety course and all that, and we're going to get her ready for the first day of rifle season, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. So yeah, my little 12-year-old Eva will be out there in the woods with me, and we'll see what happens. But like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please click subscribe and hit the like button, and share them with your friends. And also like our Facebook page, Outdoors with the Morgans. I'll put a link in the description, and if you guys are hunters, you can put your pictures there and we can all check them out. So hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Thanks. It's dark, my battery's dying, so I got to make this quick, but I got a beautiful 8-point tonight. Pretty excited. That's a nice buck for here in Pennsylvania. Really nice.